Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to cover multimedia elements and some other elements. So let's get started. First, let's get started with the audio tag. Like you see here, the audio tag is used to display or play the audio we want on the page. And this tag has several attributes that we can use. The first one is the controls, which is used to view this audio bar that you can see on the page. The next attribute, which is the muted. The muted attribute is just used to mute the audio initially. The third attribute is the loop, which lets the audio play again and again even after it finishes. The last one, which is the preload. It helps us to manipulate the way the audio is loaded on the screen. And it has three values. The first value is the auto, which is the default one. The auto means that the audio is going to load initially while the page is loading. The second one is the metadata. The metadata lets the audio to load only the metadata of the audio, like its duration, for example, and not the sound. Now the third value is the known. The known just do not let the audio not load at all. Only when the user hit the start button, the audio will start to load. And that's all about the attributes of audio tag. Then we have the source tag. The source tag is just like you can see, it's a kind of a special tag that does not have any close tag. That's okay, this will not affect or change anything. Let's go to the attributes inside. First we have the source. The source attribute is just like we know, it's just a attribute that is used to define the path for that audio file. Then we have the type. The type is used to define the format of the type you are using. In our case it's MP3, so the browser can know that our file type is MP3. Then we have another source tag. Why is that? It's normally used when the first source or format that we are using in our first audio file isn't supported by all browsers. So we can just add another source tag and insert another file format that is going to be played when the first is not supported or played by the browser. So it just will go to the next source and play it automatically when the first is not supported. And then we go to the last one, which is the text. That is like a message for the user to explain for him why all the sources are not played. Just like you can see, we can just say your browser does not support this format, which means that all the formats behind does not work on your browser. That's all about audio tag. There's also the video tag, which is almost the same as the audio tag, but with few additional attributes. Let's take a look. Like you can see here, almost everything is the same as before, but with some additional attributes, the width and the height, where we can control the width and the height of the video. There is also the poster, which is a nice attribute that can be used like a thumbnail for the video. And the other things are just the same, from source to the text at the end. It's all the same as before. We have also iframe tag, which is used usually to display external web page in your current web page. So like you can see here, we just include the link for that web page inside the source attribute, and it's just going to be displayed here. And we can control its width and height by the width and height attributes too. And there is the frame border attribute, which is used to view this border here, and if you want to remove it, you can just write here 0. And of course you can also include links for an image or videos, but that's not recommended since you can just use the image and video tag for that, but you can do that too. There is still a bunch of tags that we need to explain, and with them we will be covering all things you need to know about HTML tags, of course from the main topics that are mostly used in HTML. Now let's start with the break tag. Now the break tag is used to create a space between two tags. Like let's see here the span, for example, and say this is a span. If we copy it, you can see this span is next to it. So what if we want the next span to be in the next line? We can just add here a break. That's only what we should know about the break. That's how it's used normally. Now I want to go to a new topic, which is a CSS topic, but let's go in a brief explanation about it. You should know that there is the types of displayment on the screen. There is inline and block. Now there is more, but let's focus on these two now. Now the span tag have the inline display. What that means? That means that the span tag isn't going to take the full width of the page. It's just going to take the width that it needs for its content. So if we now add for here, for example, style and say background blue, like you see here, the width of it is just as much as the content need. Now there is other tags that will take the whole width of the page, which are called the block. For example, for that is the P tag. Let's say this is a paragraph. Now, like you see here, if we copy it and paste it, it's not going to be next to it, even though we don't use any break or anything, or we don't use the pre tag, as you know. So why is that? That's because P tag have a block display, which means every tag that comes after it will not have a space left next to it to be there. So if you just come to here and add the style and add background and then red, like you see, it just takes whole width of the page regardless of the content of text inside it that takes. So that's all what you need to know about the types of display for now. Okay, we have first the div tag. The div tag is just like a container for grouping content inside it. So you can just create as much as you want tags inside it like this. And this tag is going to be the most tag you're going to use to continue the other tags. Let's say here this is a paragraph or a paragraph, and let's use the mark tag. Like you can see here, it's just used to mark or highlight a word. There's also more. This is, let's say, this is a insert, and like you can see here, a line under the word is created. There's also, this is a delete and a line across the word. Also there is the sub tag. You can just write here 2, and like you can see, it's just like a 4 power 2 or 4 square. So there is also sub. You can write here first, say, sorry, this is a, come to here and write sub, and that's it. This is just opposite to the sub one, and go down, not up. There's also another tag which is called the horizontal. The horizontal is just a tag that is used to create a line that maybe you want to separate a content from another, so it's so useful. I want to highlight another topic, the inline and the block. So like you can see here, all those tags are inline. So from that you can start thinking that usually, or almost all the time, the inline tags are used inside the block tags. So why we do not use the block tags inside the block tags? Well, that's because it isn't going to work. For example, let's return to here and say I want to add a paragraph. Okay, and say this is, you do not have to continue, you can see what's happening. It just goes to a new line, and that's not expected at all. It just apply its own rules and behavior like as a block tag, and it's not going to be like the others, the inline tags that are going to be normal. So this is not going to work. The inline tags are better for this, since we do not want a text or any content that we are nesting to be in a new line. Usually we want it to be next to each other, otherwise why we nest it inside the parent. Maybe there is some situations that you want that to happen, you can use it then, but like I said, most of the times this is the normal behavior to use the inline tags inside the block tags. That's all what you need to know about HTML. This was the last part. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it helped you in your programming journey. If there is still anything you want to know about HTML, please leave a comment below so I can gather the topics and maybe make a new part for that. Please do not forget to hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video.